Now, Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 9 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great weekend, safe weekend. We're kicking into the fall, folks. It's a beautiful thing. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Practice makes the master. By doing your best over and over, you can master the art of transformation. By doing your best, the habits of misusing your word, taking things personally, and making assumptions will become weaker and less frequent with time. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow down 20, NASDAQ off 19, S&P's off $1.50. Gold contract down $10.80, trading at $1,767 an ounce. Silver off 59 cents at $34.04 an ounce. Copper down 4.5 cents at $3.74 a pound. Light sweet crude down 95 cents at $92.26 a barrel. Bonds up 25 ticks at 147.21. King dollar up 19 ticks at 79.59. Euro off 50 at 129.29. And the yen down 32, trading out at 77.84. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world. In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. We get some divergence out here. Now, watch what it is, folks. So, S&P flat, down $3. Well, we did 611 million shares, okay, which is really light volume, bottom line. So, what that sets up, it's like, okay, man, you want to go after that 1467 on that S&P again. You're at 1457. If we go take a look at the SPY, what you'll see is this. Inside the SPY, what we did is I did 88 million shares. Well, the 88 million was going against 225. That's saying, you know what? This thing wants to basically try to test not necessarily the high that was generated on the 14th, but I suspect it wants to get into that high that was generated on the 19th. The difference is 147.17 on the 19th when the SPY versus 148.11. We're going to walk through this divergence. Now, we go into the Dow Industrials. What we have with the Dow Industrials, same type of setup. The difference with the Dow is that you basically have done we get like 3 different dojis up at the top. And what you have is this, is that you have a very narrow price spread. What you'd never like to see at highs, folks, is a narrow price spread. The reason being is that with a narrow price spread, basically that's saying, hey, it can't handle it. If you have a narrow price spread down at the lows, what's happening is that it doesn't want to stay at the lows. It wants to go higher. So the Dow Industrials right now, we're at 13,558. Now, what they did do is that they're under the benchmark here is that September 13th, Fed Day. That's the benchmark. So they're under it. We'll see whether they can get a juice on the way down. Now, NASDAQ Composite. Okay, so in the composite, what we have is this. Now, the composite, bottom line, down $19, still basically a sideways day. But what you have with the composite, we did $1.7 billion. The composite is also under the 3167. Now, this is where this gets really intriguing. Let's go over the NDX 100. So, what you have with the NDX 100 is this. I'll use the 3 Qs so you can see what the correlation is. So at the 3 Qs, not a big deal, 41 cents you're down. You're at 69.73. Now, that did get back inside the date of the 13th. So that's saying, you know what, guess what? It's going to try to make its way down to the bottom of that area, which is the 68.62. Now, in that context, inside the NDX, what is not unusual, but let me tell you, you had Google hit all-time highs today. Google wanted to go after that number, went after that number, has the volume, has everything that it needs. That put some juice into the NDX. But because Apple, folks, is such a large weighting inside the composite and the NDX 100, there's problems in paradise here, and this is what they are. Apple came down with 22 million shares, $9. $9 is not a big deal, but guess what? Huge expansion off the high. It hit highs with 11 million shares. It comes down today with 22 million. Now, this isn't the first time that Apple's done this. Apple likes coming off highs with expanded volume. each and every time it's done it, though, let me tell you, it's come all the way back. So we'll see how Apple gets in. The number on Apple, folks, is a lot lower to have some real destruction take place, and it's 644. Right now you're at 690. Don't take that heat. I'm just saying that not for Apple to have bigger problems, it's a 644 number. Okay, so that's your S&P, the Dow, and the NASDAQ. Russell 2000 is dead meat. Dead meat. If we use the IWM, what you're going to see is this. IWM, huge expansion in volume today. 48 million shares. This is after you made a high out there with 46 million. You tested it on Friday with 38 million. Couldn't handle it. Come down with 48 million today. Now, what I expect you're going to see with the IWM tomorrow morning is this. We're at 84.89. The 84.19 area would be considered the creek. And when I say the creek, all it means is that it's going to come into resistance, or come into support, and I expect what you're going to see is you're going to jump that creek. And if we get a jump on that creek, that's going to be the first indice that has failed at the September 19th Fed day, and that's an important day. Now, out of all the indices, the Russell 2000 was also the only indice that failed on the daily, on the weekly, and in this case, well, we'll see, we got a few more days on the monthly. It had gone over those highs, closed underneath them, had lighter volume. So the follow-through is happening in the IWM. Let's go over to the gold contract. We take a look at gold. Now, we got some divergence in the gold contract that you gold bulls are going to love. I love it, I'll tell you. This is what it is. The contract itself, we're at 1767. That contract, pull back slightly today, nothing heavy. I expect what you're going to see, though, is that when we bring this over, what you're going to see is that we came into the September, December, and March area with dramatically lighter volume. It can't handle it. That's the bottom line. So I expect you're going to get a much larger pullback in the gold contract. 1550s game here. The equities, however, the XAU, the HUI, what those babies did, folks, is that they came in. Now you can see they're pulling back, and they're going to pull back good. But they came in to those swing points, and they came in with accelerated volume. Now, what that sets up, that type of divergence, I love that type of divergence. The reason being is this, is that the correction in the gold market, the equities are still at 2009 levels. I mean, it's an insane correction, okay? Bottom line, you come off the highs. And as you come off those highs, let's say the XAU is 232. You got down to a price point of 146. Last week was the first time that we were coming into those areas with real juice. And what it normally takes in a large correction like this, it takes 3 separate times on the way up to get rid of that supply line. So the first time up, it was awesome. You can expect a pullback. What's so neat about the gold market in general in that sector when you have this happen is that this trade will be on for about a year now. All those, when you pull back to the bottom side of that consolidation, folks, as long as you're pulling back with lighter volume, they're going to be buys. But I expect it's going to take that long. Yes, patience is a virtue, no doubt about it. Dollar index. We go over to the dollar index. We take a look at the dollar index. What we had out here today, you got a little price. DXZ2. There she is. Okay, so we got a little price going, not enough volume going. Not even close either, by the way. We did 17,000 contracts. So that's going to have to build some cause for higher price. We go to the euro. You take a look at the euro out here, what the euro did. She come back 49 ticks, no big deal. And so in order for the euro to come lower, the dollar index to get higher, we need some real cause. The bond contract, what we had with bonds out here, US Z2. What we have happening with bonds, she's going to need more cause also. Right now, we did 185,000 contracts. We're at 147.23 inside the 30-year. For the 30-year to get back up into the 154.17 area, which I expect it will, by the way, it has to get first back inside 148.01. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Let's take a look at some of the high-volume stocks. Oh, Facebook. Facebook's done. Facebook come down another 10% today. Not at the end of the world, but bottom line is that the That thing's going to have problems. Facebook was down 204. This pharmaceutical. We'll get back to the pharmaceutical in a second. That came down 75%. We had, let's see, Microsoft was down 41. GE was down 17. We had Citigroup down 18. Yahoo was up 27. JP Morgan Chase was up 35. This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. You stay right there, folks. We'll come right back.